Hello, everyone. It's your boy Terrence here with Hollywood Already Did It, and we're going to get into another trailer rewind, this time with the other group of sentient action dolls that are happening this week in Toy Story from Pixar and Disney Pictures. And we're going to get into that after the jump. So it seems like we've come a long way since the first Toy Story came out. That was in 1995, and Pixar was just this independent company. First film directed by John Lasseter, who went on to do three films in a row for Pixar. He did Toy Story, A Bug's Life, and Toy Story 2. And then we had the run of, I believe, Monsters Inc. was next, Finding Nemo, and then Incredible. So your first six films out the gate for Pixar were all of those classic hits. So Pixar was an independent company that did something that Disney was very happy for, but they were still at that point in time working on their own. So let's go back and look at the very first where it all began in Toy Story 1. It's funny, Toy Story 1 came out in that time in 95 when I was entering high school. So it was that point where you start thinking you're too cool for cartoons, but I still managed to go see this one in theaters, and I was quite happy that I did. So let's start this trailer out now.
Sergeant?
Yes, sir.
Establish a recon post downstairs.
Code Red, repeat. We are Code Red. Recon Plan Charlie. Execute. Move, 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 move. It's a
big one.
Walt Disney Pictures presents a totally new animated motion picture event.
You gotta think about it, the animation for this is brand new at this point in
The
time.
story of two toys
There seems to be no sign of intelligent life anywhere.
hello.
headed for a showdown.
It's funny, the animation on this
This is my
looks old only in comparison to the new Toy Stories, or Toy Story 3. But it still looks good for all other animation.
and playing by their own rules.
me again.
I don't like
With books like Indian in the Cupboard, or whenever you think of like, oh, do my toys, when I'm gone away, do my toys, what do? Do they do their own thing? This kind of lets you play with that world. And it was a dope concept, and I dug it.
Very good.
Oh, what? You can't fly.
Yes, I can.
Can't.
Can.
Can't.
This holiday season,
He's
the adventure
flying.
takes off
That's not flying.
when toys come to life.
To infinity and beyond.
Toy Story.
Look out!
Can.
That seems so long ago, and I remember that story so vividly because Toy Story is one of the greatest stories of all time. But it's a good way to look at it, like, oh, this is what you began with. It's such a simple story: two toys vying for the rights to be the toy for our beloved Andy. And then we got a sequel for this, not shortly after, in '99. So 4 years. Animation takes at least 3 years just to get all the animation done. So storyboards and all that stuff. So 4 years later, they gave us Toy Story 2. In between that, A Bug's Life came out from Pixar. And it's funny, Toy Story 2 would be considered to be, out of the original trilogy of Toy Story movies, the weaker of the three, but it's still a damn good movie and a doggone good time. So let's go ahead and click up Toy Story 2 trailer now.
It's too fast. How could you even tell what's on?
It's cool now because you've established all of these characters. You've established the relationship between Buzz and Woody, however contentious it is. So you now have to just put them in this world, and the toy collector is a good idea.
Woody once risked his life to save me. I couldn't call myself his friend if I weren't willing to do the same.
I'm packing you your angry eyes, just in case.
It's so smart. This animation already looks like they've improved since '95.
And beyond.
Don't talk to any toy you don't know!
We'll have to cross.
You You're not turning me into a mashed potato.
I may not be a smart dog, but I know what roadkill is.
Drop!
All right, nobody look till I get my cork back in.
It's surged!
I'm officially freaked
Buzz,
out.
I am your
Use your
father.
head.
But I don't want to use my hand!
This Thanksgiving, the toys are back in town
Jesse.
The day I can.
and just trying to get home.
They also like start showing us the face of adults, so the animation style got a lot better.
We've been down this aisle already.
We've never been down this aisle. It's pain.
Back it up, back it up.
He introduced Barbie.
I'm tour guide Barbie.
I'm a married spud, I'm a married spud.
I'm going to let go of the wall.
What?
It's so much comedy in these movies that work on the level for adults. This is what Pixar is good at all around, but the comedy works for adults and the comedy and story work for adults, but also still happens to be a kid's film that they give enough jokes and moments and events that kids will get to. And it's funny because the first two were Thanksgiving movies. They released them in November. They were kids, like, the kids are off for the holidays. We're going to put these out. And then we didn't get another film for Toy Story for a while. Pixar went on this whole thing where they were just only doing original content. So after Incredibles, there was Cars, there was Ratatouille, WALL-E. But in that time, while they had only been making films for Disney, Disney just outright bought them. So now Pixar was only making movies for Disney, and Pixar was a subsidiary of Disney films. Now it's weird because people are like, well, they were always making films for Disney, but they still had the option to do whatever they want, and they worked under their own umbrella. In 2005, I believe it was, Disney outright bought Pixar. And I think one of the first things that they thought of to get off the ground was like, oh, we need to do another Toy Story. Like, another Toy Story needs to happen. So 2010, which would be 99, almost a full 10, almost a decade from 2000, from Toy Story 2, we finally got a Toy Story 3. Not by John Lasseter. We got a new director, but he did work on the story for it. And still with the same voice work. It's one of the good things about when you do an animated film. While your voice actors may get older, your cast does not. So you can take as much time as, that's why The Simpsons has been on the air for forever. But let's go ahead and look at Toy Story 3, which was the first film of these to come out in the summer. They felt like they had enough cachet. Summer was now also a time when kids were off. So, and I remember seeing this trailer and I was like, yeah, we're going to see that. And I don't think I definitely teared up at the end of Toy Story 3, as I feel like a lot of grown folks do it, a lot of Pixar movies. But let's start this up now. See, even the trailer is trying to get you, because it does a good job. It's like, all right, it's showing you when Andy was a kid and he grew up with Buzz and Woody. You see him growing up as a kid, and he has Jesse, which you can tell that he's getting older, and eventually these toys are going to start weaning off. He's going to start growing out of them.
Andy's going to college. Can you believe it? Mom, I'm not leaving till Friday. What are you going to do with these old toys?
See, while being a story about toys, it's showing that these toys, if sentient and had a life, what happens to them once the person that plays with them stops playing with them?
Now, come on, guys. We all knew this day was coming.
We're getting thrown away.
No, no one's getting thrown
We
away.
ain't ever getting played with.
Hold on, this is no time to be hysterical.
It's
the perfect time to be hysterical.
Should we be hysterical?
Now, yes, maybe, but not right now.
Come on, let's see how much we're going for on eBay.
I'm gonna get played with.
And then to be careful what you wish for, because you were getting played with, you thought you were done, but then you get donated or get basically lost in translation to a daycare, and these kids don't know how to play with toys. There's age appropriation on toys for a reason. This kind of shows you why that is, and it's cute to see.
To reset your Buzz Lightyear, insert paperclip.
Oh, that's right. We get the Spanish Buzz.
Bitácora espacial.
Sort of.
Oh, no.
Oh, yes. Return of the Astronaut.
And that was in 3D too, and it was June 18th. But it definitely, that's a trailer. Well, the first two trailers show you that it's going to be a kid's film. This is the first time they're like, all right, adults are here now. We're going to show you. So they just start showing you the heart or what the hook is for this film. And Toy Story 3, man, that punches you right in the chest. And I have a feeling that if they're going to do a Toy Story 4, and the way that they end with Toy Story 3 with Andy handing off his toys and explaining what each one was, that's what got me. If that is where we're going, and if that is the wavelength of comedy and drama that we're going to be getting in Toy Story 4, I'm all in for it, and I can't wait. So what do you think about the Toy Story franchise? Are you a fan? Do you like it? What's your favorite Toy Story? Go ahead and leave your comments in the comments below. Go ahead and ring that bell, like, share, subscribe to the channel. First 500 folks that we get in here will be the founders of the channel, and I'll give somebody something nice for hanging around, letting everybody know about the place. You can hit us up on email at hollywoodalreadydidit@gmail.com, or you can find us on Twitter at HollywoodADI. We also have a podcast by the same name that is on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Spotify, anywhere that plays podcasts. And this last week, we talked about Men in Black International. And this week, if everything goes correct, we're going to be doing 2 episodes, one on Toy Story 4 and one on Child's Play. So if you want to hear us talk about and give reviews on those, I won't be doing them on the channel, but we will be talking about them on those on the podcast. But like always, you got a friend in me? No. Like always, I got my ticket. You got yours?